using the pure file structure has been, I'm going to say, life-changing, because I am famous for going, oh, I saved that, but I don't know where I put it. I know I have a copy of it, but I don't know where it is. But now that with the pure file structure and the naming protocols, it has turned the whole file system around 100%.
You're listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Michael Palmer. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Palmer, and today's show is going to be a fantastic one. Our guest is the owner of the Wyoming-based HLA Bookkeeping firm, and she is a Pure Bookkeeping licensee. Heidi Adams, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Michael. I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. And before we get into all of it, Heidi, please tell us about your career journey leading up to this point.
Well, I'll go back and briefly touch on how I became interested in bookkeeping and accounting. When I was a senior in high school, I needed a filler class. They wouldn't let you. I needed to get so many credits and I needed one more class. And so I took an accounting class, and that's all it took. I fell in love with it. The organization and the process of processing accounting and transactions and whatnot is where I fell in love.
Wow.
Started college 7 days after I graduated from high school, mostly because I live in a small town and I was just ready to leave the nest, so to speak. And so I went not very far, only 70 miles away, started college. And not long after that, I met my husband, who was in the military and stationed at an Air Force base in the town where I was going to college. And college kind of took a back seat at that point. He went overseas, and so I followed him overseas, and then we started our family. And so college really took a back seat for about 10 years. I went back to school to basically further our family, to help our family become more financially stable, etc. And I went back to college, got an associate's degree in accounting, and was planning to be more than just a bookkeeper. Never did I ever plan to do income tax. I never liked the income tax side of the accounting world, and so I just wanted to become the best bookkeeper that I could. So through college, I did that, got an internship with one of the biggest accounting firms in Montana. And from that internship, I was hired, worked for them for a couple of years, and one of the clients that I managed hired me away from public accounting into being their accounting clerk in-house. I did that for a couple of years there. Then I moved away, moved to California, moved there thinking, oh, we live in California, we make good money. I will stay at home. I won't work. And that lasted all of 2 months. And so then I found an accounting firm. I say firm, he was a sole practitioner, and he just really needed somebody to answer the phone and process payroll and that kind of stuff. I worked for him for just short of a year, and then he passed away suddenly. And his children came to me and said, all the clients love you. Why don't you take over the bookkeeping part of his practice? And so I did. So that was in 2001. And I have been, I would say I've been doing this for myself and for my clients since 2001. We've moved around and done a lot of different things. Moved back to Wyoming and brought my clients with me because of the internet and overnight mail and whatnot. Was able to bring a pretty big portion of my client base with me, but it wasn't enough. it didn't keep me as busy as I wanted. And so then I went to work as a legal assistant and did my bookkeeping and accounting on the side. In my little hometown of 3,500 people, one of the accounting firms got word that I had this little side hustle going on, and they hired me away from the law office, and I worked for them for about 3.5 years. In the back of their mind, their intention was for me to always take over their bookkeeping and payroll practice. So I did. In 2018, I went out and started my brick and mortar and have been building my business, really building and focusing and just doing bookkeeping and accounting since 2018.
Wow. What a story. What a story. I love the going overseas and following your husband and building a family, coming back, and always on the sort of the periphery was your love of accounting, basically. And now here you are running this business. I'd love to hear, like, since 2018. I mean, there's a few starts and slow starts, I guess you could say, into your business, because you have been running your own business since 2001, which is a very long time. You've had many different experiences, but I'd love to know some of the obstacles that caught you up and how you overcame them.
I'm going to focus on HLA bookkeeping as it is today. When I very first went out on my own in 2018, my mindset was I'm taking on what I consider a large chunk of business from another firm. And when I worked for that firm, I already was managing by myself about 40 clients. And so I was I wasn't quite doubling that. And then I still had my own practice. So I'm like, I can do this. I can do the bulk of this work if I get somebody to answer the phone and do the easy bookkeeping clients. And that worked for about 9 months. And I just kept adding clients, and I just got in the overwhelm. And all this time I'm thinking, well, I have processes. I know how to do all of this. But the problem was I was the one who knew how to do everything. And I didn't get it out to my staff very well as far as how to do the things that I already knew how to do. That was my biggest, and still is to this day, honestly, one of my biggest struggles.
We'll get back to the interview right after this word from our sponsor. Do you ever feel overwhelmed with your bookkeeping business? Are there just too many things swirling around in your head without a way to organize them all? Introducing Pure Workflow. It's a simple, easy-to-use workflow practice management solution which will help you manage your clients, deadlines, workflow, and team with ease. Forget about all the struggling to keep everything organized. With Pure Workflow, you can focus on what's really important, your clients. Its client management software gives you one central place to manage all of your client relationships and communications. Plus, Pure Workflow has a flexible reporting ability that will allow you to manage your team and monitor productivity and business results. It offers everything you need to hit your deadlines, manage your to-dos, and stay in control. Unlike other workflow softwares in the bookkeeping industry, Pure Workflow is built exclusively for bookkeeping firms and comes complete with all the templates, training, and documentation for best practice bookkeeping, so you can run your business like a world-class firm. So get your precious time back, reduce overwhelm, and get organized with Pure Workflow. Check out pureworkflow.com for more information. That's pureworkflow.com. Thank you for hearing from our sponsor. Now let's get back to the interview. And so how did you overcome that?
Well, I floundered for a while. I floundered for a couple of years. Before I even started in 2018, I had come across the Pure Bookkeeping system in probably 2017 and thought, oh, that's a great idea. Good for them. I don't need that. I can do this. I don't need to hire them to engage in that community. I got this. I can do this myself. Until the overwhelm became too much. And then I came back to the Pure Bookkeeping system and decided that there was no reason for me to reinvent the wheel when it had already been invented by Debbie Roberts. And thought, let's just dive in. It's expensive, but on the other side of it, it will be worth it. And it has been.
It's great to hear. It's not the first time I've heard that exact progression. It's you try to do. I mean, we've all done that, right? We think, well, we can do this ourselves.
Right.
Why do I need someone else to do that? I mean, you hear that from your clients all the time, right? They go, "Oh, I can do the bookkeeping, no problem," right?
Right.
Why should I pay someone else to do this? And so you started implementing systems. But I'm curious about the when you hired the person to come and help answer phones and do the basic stuff, it lasted for about 9 months. Is that just because the growth of the business just kept going?
Yes. And it was overwhelming for her.
Mm.
And she couldn't handle it. And so she was honest and said, this is way busier than I thought it would ever be. And congratulations, you're doing great things, but I can't do it anymore. That's what happened.
Mm.
Yeah. So then I've tried to be better about, even before I became a licensee, I used Jetpack Workflow, and I tried to develop the systems within Jetpack Workflow. And that definitely helped. Having a workflow platform definitely helped.
And so getting things into a workflow software was an improvement just for you
Yes.
in your just as a solo practitioner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so what I'd love to hear the story that you started with Pure, and how did that go? Like what did you implement first? Did you get systems in place? What were some of the struggles and challenges?
The first thing that we implemented was the naming protocols and the file structure. Using the Pure file structure has been, I'm going to say, life-changing, because I am famous for going, oh, I saved that, but I don't know where I put it. I know I have a copy of it, but I don't know where it is. But now that with the Pure file structure and the naming protocols, it has turned the whole file system around 100%.
That's one of the things that I hear of that often. And it's one of those ones that we don't probably, there's lots of instances of that in our general life, is we think, oh, well, it's just going to take me 2 seconds to do that. But those 2 seconds add up, and it's actually never 2 seconds. So not saving it properly, not having a structure in place, we think when you add all of that up, it's little bits and pieces, but it adds up to a whole bunch of space. It's like the idea of, oh, you have a crack in your door and a crack in your window. Eventually, if you put all those together, it's like a big hole in your wall of air coming through.
Right.
That's your time and energy that's just leaking out of your life and out of your business. And so when you clean that up, it improves your efficiency, but also your peace of mind, I would imagine.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Not only for myself, but for my team, because they know in any client file, they know what folder to go to look for payroll. They know what folder to go to look for bank statements. All of those things, just that peace of mind, knowing that every client is the same, has made a huge difference in our productivity and our efficiency.
Lovely. And when it comes to the workflow software, have you stuck with Jetpack? Did you put the templates in there? How did that go?
I stuck with Jetpack for several years, and I had them before I became a licensee, and then I did put the templates, the Pure Bookkeeping templates, in. And it wasn't long after that we switched to ClickUp and used, Lisa Campbell shared the templates. She had developed the templates within ClickUp, and so we use those. And we're still, I hate to say this, we're still in ClickUp, but I am also working on the Pure Workflow system, getting all of our processes and templates set up in the Pure Workflow system so that we can use it. I'm really excited about all the things that you guys have done with the Pure Workflow system. My biggest frustration with other workflow systems has been scheduling reoccurrences. They weren't necessarily happening the way we intended them to happen. Some of them are supposed to happen once a year in January, and it would skip a year And then, we'd be at the 20th of January going, I know this client hasn't been done. Where's the task that goes with this? And then we'd have to go look for it, and it would be in the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm excited for Pure Workflow. It seems to be, because it's built for bookkeepers, I think it's going to be a great solution for all the things that we do.
Yeah, we're really excited about it, and excited about the community's involvement. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of bookkeeping business owners like yourself that had the same concerns and frustrations with most of the workflow softwares are trying to be, work with everyone. And that's good in some ways because you have greater scale, they have more customers, more money, they can do more things. But at the end of the day, when you have a very unique situation and things that you need, it doesn't fit like you want it to fit in your business. So we've really gone down the road of just focusing on helping you and what you need in your business, a bookkeeping business owner, to be able to streamline your practice and grow your firm and do the things that you needed to do. So it's been refreshing, I think, for our community, and refreshing for us to be able to put that together. I'm excited to see what it does for you and how it improves your business.
Just knowing that it really is designed for pure bookkeeping licensees and for our industry makes it head and shoulders above others that are not so specific for an industry.
File naming was a major breakthrough, workflow software as well. What were the other areas that you improved in your business?
I would say that using the HR, marketing, the engagement letters, those kinds of things that come with the pure bookkeeping system have been very beneficial in my business. I had like a one-page engagement that just said, yep, we're going to do these few things, and here's your price. It didn't talk about scope creep. It didn't talk about expectations. These are the things that we promise to do for you, and these are the things that you agree to do for us. None of that was covered before. And so specifically using the engagement letters has been very beneficial, because I've had some clients that tried to push back on, let's say, the 30-day termination notice. And now I can say to them, no, we have an agreement, and this is what it says. And if you don't want to abide by that agreement, there's a fee for me to offload you sooner, faster, per your request, but we can do it. But knowing that we have that agreement, it just makes it run so much smoother.
Exciting. It's amazing to hear it. It's when you bring more clarity, it just removes all of that noise in your life. Again, it comes back to those little things that don't seem like a lot. Actually, when you add clients to it, is a lot of time, whether it's your efficiency, the way you've set up your business, how you communicate with your clients, reducing the noise and having clarity, reducing scope creep. All of these things add up massively.
Yes. And we took a lot of time, probably about 18 months ago, and developed our service packages and incorporating those into the engagement letters and describing exactly what you get with each package has really helped. It really helps with marketing, honestly, because then we can ask the clients, well, these are the services that we offer. These are the packages. This is what we, what the fee is for each package. If you want additional things, because we're bean counters, we formatted everything around coffee beans. So we have a decaf package, we have an espresso package, and we have extra shots. Extra shots being things that are possibly ad hoc tasks, possibly they only happen once a year or once a quarter, and we add those in as extra shots with additional fees. That has been very helpful in protecting ourselves against scope creep.
Yeah, I love it. And I love the naming convention.
Thank you.
Yes, it's another key piece, getting your pricing and your packages set up to fuel the business and improve on your profitability.
Right.
And so we talk a lot about mistakes. That's one of the reports that we have on our website, is the 10 mistakes bookkeepers make in their business and how to avoid them. You've mentioned a few. We didn't necessarily call them mistakes, but one of them is, not charging properly. You've nailed that. You've added systems and process into your business. When you look back over the years, what do you feel were some of your other mistakes that you made that you learned from?
The one that sticks in my head right now is not getting paid upfront, especially on rescue or catch-up work. Not requiring the client to pay us, at least half down, do half the work, charge again, do the rest of the work. I used to just go, oh yeah, I can do that. And I would dive right in. And then I would struggle to collect the fee. And so switching my mindset, it was tough for me at first because I come from old school where you do the work and you charge by the hour and then you bill. It was hard for me to switch to a different mindset. But once I did, it's made a huge difference. And the clients, I don't know what the holdup was other than just my mind saying, no, that's not how we do it. The clients have never said, oh, no, I'm not paying you up front. You have to do the work first. Not once has a client said, no. They're always like, okay, how much do I owe you to get started?
I love it. And why do you think it's so when you didn't get paid, what has them not want to pay when you don't charge up front?
I think because I wasn't clear on how much it would cost to do a catch-up or rescue project. And so when they finally got the bill, they're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. So I think just being forthcoming in, yes, it's going to take time and it's going to take effort. And so we're playing catch-up. And playing catch-up means you probably want it yesterday. So there's a premium to that type of service. And I wasn't clear on communicating that with them.
So it sounds like the mindset really shifted for you, and that also changed how you communicated the job and the work that you're about to do. And again, another thing that's just no longer an issue, because having to deal with somebody not paying or having a problem with the bill is gone. And so now It's like, hey, you want to get this fixed? It's a premium. Everything you said was great. It's like, this is a premium. You want it right away. We got work to do, and we don't know exactly how long it's going to take, and you're going to pay for chunks of this as we go. And so it's either you're in or you're out at that point, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Another a great one too, and definitely it's on the list, is don't charge for rescue jobs up front. The other one is getting paid on invoice, which I'm curious how you handle that. Do you have like a recurring billing system, or how do you get paid from your clients? Is it automated? Is it on invoice? What do you do?
It's automated. I require an ACH authorization so that I can, we call it ping their account on the first of every month. The bulk of my clients are automated ACH on the first of the month. There are clients that we pay the bills for, issue the checks, all of that stuff. So that comes a little bit later because I put it in the bill paying process, in the accounts payable process. But we always get paid. For, I would say, 90% of our clients, we are paid on the first of every month. Yeah.
That's lovely. And was that something you always did? Was that something you switched to?
Nope. Learned that from the peer bookkeeping system and requiring payment up front, because it's probably Lisa Campbell, because I follow a lot of things that Lisa does. You can't undo the work.
You cannot undo the work.
And so that has become my philosophy. I'm not doing the work until you pay me, because I can always give you a refund for the money, for the payment, but there's no way I can refund the work. I can't go into your books and delete all the transactions, or I could, but I'm not going to.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioned Lisa earlier about ClickUp. She's a long time licensee and has worked with many of our licensees over the years, helping them. Tell us a little bit about your experience with Lisa.
I have gone through her Accelerate to Advisor program twice, all the way through twice. I personally don't think I'm not there yet. You have to have your mindset be right. And I just don't feel like my business is ready to go to that next level yet. I've learned a lot just on systemizing and time blocking and all the things that she goes through in that course. But I personally just don't feel like I'm ready to go to the next level. And when I am, you can guarantee that I will sign up for her mastermind.
Gotcha. So I love that you've gotten a ton of value, like amazing value from just going to her complimentary free program, which is the master class, right? The
Yes,
Accelerate to Advisor masterclass.
correct.
Which I just love that. And that's why that's been such a valued resource in our community, in the successful bookkeeper community, in the pure bookkeeping community, and bookkeeping community overall, is that multi-day event where she does about an hour each day and literally teaches components. And I just, she's been doing this for a few years, and by the sounds of it, you'd been in her program. I mean, you've implemented some of the things that she's taught in that free program, and it's delivered some incredible value for you. So I love that. And I know Lisa
Yes.
will love hearing that as well, because that's what she intends to do, is help you now and get you ready so that when you can come and actually take your business to the next level working with her.
Yes. I'm excited to do it. I just don't feel like myself and my team are ready for that next level. We'll get there though. We'll get there.
You will. Well, based on this conversation, you're doing a lot of the right things and building up your business to be able to scale. But just to jump back to that charging, getting paid on invoice. So prior to pure bookkeeping, you were not charging each month, and so what was the experience like for you before you started charging monthly with ACH and some of the other things you mentioned?
The good thing, I guess, is that I always had good clients that paid when I sent them an invoice. In the 20 something years that I've been doing this, I have only had to not seek collection, but follow up on invoices less than a half a dozen times, where
Amazing.
I really had to hound my clients and say, look, I'm not doing any more work until you pay me for what I've already done, which it was another solidifying mindset of they have to pay me up front, because I'm not going through the struggle of collecting ever again.
Wow. I love that. So that leads me into the question of, you've got great clients. How'd you get them?
I bought them. I did buy two practices, basically. When I very first started, I purchased a book of clients from the accountant who passed away. And then I would like to say I was groomed by an accounting firm to take over their bookkeeping and payroll practice. And then word of mouth really has helped me grow my client base. I don't really advertise. Way back in the early 2000s, when I first started, I put a Yellow Pages ad in the phone book. And that really is the only paid advertising that I've ever done.
Mm.
And so not that that's a bad thing, but I have
No, it's not a bad thing.
I have good connections in my community, and that has really helped. I was born and raised in the town that we live in, and so I know not everybody, but pretty close. So
right.
that has really helped. And I'm diligent about protecting my reputation, I guess. I don't know how to explain that, but I try really hard to make sure that that HLA Bookkeeping has a good name in our community.
Mm. Well, you do, by the sounds of it, you're doing good work and getting better and better at it. When it comes to the marketing, it really is the things you're doing are the pinnacle things. You worked with accountants, kind of you didn't go and approach them necessarily to do the work. You ended up getting at it at a different angle, but the work that comes from accountants, it can be an incredible relationship because they need you, and so when you do good work for them and you produce a clean file, it makes their job even easier. And so that's maybe one of the things that our listener can take away from that is if you haven't done that, if you haven't built relationships with accountants or tax accountants that need that work, that's a step you can take. But also the approach of buying a book of business is not often talked about enough, and I think the opportunity there always is there. It's a massive opportunity to look at who's retiring. Are there other firms in the area that might be retiring or looking to get out of the business, and then assess that if it's an opportunity.
Right. In my little community, I want to say that early on, I just let my work speak for itself. I didn't advertise that I had a side hustle of accounting and bookkeeping. I, in conversation, would talk to people. I don't know how, honestly, how we would get on the conversation, but I would basically say, I can help you with that. And they would let me. And like I said, I didn't promote myself out in the community that I was doing this on the side. I let my work speak for itself. When they took my books, the books that I had prepared, to their tax accountants, that's how I grew. That is in itself how I got hired by the local CPA firm that I took over their book of business in 2018. They saw my work through mutual clients to begin with and decided that I would be a great person to come in, learn their systems, and take over for them.
I love that. And it's a story that I've heard many times. When you do good work and you put that in front, they notice that and they want to send you more business.
Right. And it's happened with other accounting firms here in our town. There's 3 or 4 accounting firms, or there were, and my work just spoke to those tax accountants. And they actually, when they started to downsize their businesses and get rid of the bookkeeping and payroll, they referred all of their clients to me.
Wow.
At no charge. I didn't have to pay for those clients. That was great.
Wow. Bonus.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. Well, this has been fantastic. I'd love to know if there's any other thoughts or tips that you would like to pass on to our listener.
What I'm most proud of is I'm always learning. I'm always learning about how to do bookkeeping, what's the best practices on doing what we do, but also best practices on how to be a good leader, how to be a good team member, how to be more organized, all of those things. I listen to books, podcasts, and all of that stuff like every day. And so I kind of created a hodgepodge of all the things that I've learned to make me more successful. And so that's my encouragement to anybody is don't be afraid to learn something new. No matter how old you are, no matter where you're at in life, don't be afraid to learn something new. Change, in my opinion, is what keeps us growing. And the struggle in change can actually be the reward. And so that's my advice to anybody, is to always be learning.
I love that. Heidi, this has been absolutely fantastic. And if our listener would like to learn more about you or connect with you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
I am on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course I have a website.
Beautiful. And we'll put those links in the show notes for our listener to learn more about you and connect with you.
Perfect.
Heidi, on behalf of our listener, I want to thank you for your generosity in coming on our show and sharing your journey with us.
It was my pleasure. Absolutely.
Well, the pleasure has been all ours. And with that, we wrap another episode of the Successful Bookkeeper Podcast. To learn more about today's wonderful guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to The Successful Bookkeeper with Michael Palmer. For more information and to download the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening.